Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Those few people, I don't know if I think I'm a little early. No, I'm just 1 minute early. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. This is not going to be a long live. Actually, it's going to be rather short. Um, I had some things on my heart today, and kind of wanted to talk about them. So, hope you can pull up a chair, listen to what I got to say. And again, I hope everyone is doing well because I'm doing okay. Hey, Chicky. Hey, No Limit. I missed you the last time. Hey, Arabia. Hey, CC, my buddies. Well, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna hold you long. I know y'all want to go hear the other drama that's going on in these YouTube streets. I try to be non-drama, even though people try to pull you in stuff. Um, I'm talking about when life tries to break you. And yes, I will have an open panel. Some of y'all are scared. I can understand why, with all the bullying that's been going on. Hey, Matthew, my buddy, you're in the clouds. um, Please like, share, and subscribe. Hello, Just Saying, how are you? Glad to see you guys. I'm talking about when life breaks you. It breaks. It tries to break all of us, and sometimes, for some people, it does a pretty good job. I know for me, it can get you down so far to where you just want to give up. A lot of people get bogged down in depression because of life, and I remember asking someone that I think I was asking my sister, and it was a lady that we haven't saw in a long time, and I think I saw her at a funeral or something like that. Um, what you say? No limit, never scared. I'm just trying not to be the bad guy. Okay, my buddy. Um, it was a situation where I saw her face and she looked like she aged overnight. And I asked my sister what happened to this lady and why is it that she looks this way? And I remember my sister saying life happened. Life happened to her. And at first when I was younger at the time and I couldn't understand what she was saying until I got older and I started to go through some things in life. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, guys. And when I started going through some things in life, I started to understand what she meant. Life happens. And sometimes life is not always good to us, even though, things could be worse for some of us. Some of us have kind of a hard upbringing coming up, or sometimes when you get older, you experience certain things in life that affect us deeply, like a death of a loved one, that either a child or a parent or just a close family member or friend. Some people it's a divorce. Some people it's a loss of employment, when you really have bills to pay and things are just coming out of nowhere where you have to pay and you have no money. Sometimes it's just losing your way and getting addicted to alcohol or drugs. And sometimes we don't handle life properly. We don't handle it sometimes in a way where it's a good outcome for us. But then, hey, realist. But when we do come out of it, for some of us, we learn some valuable lessons. And those valuable lessons can help us in our life for other things that will happen. I remember some things. I had a cousin of mine that I grew up with. She had the misfortune of losing her mother at a very early age. She was 2 weeks old and she was a baby, and she lost her mother due to an aneurysm. And when she lost her mother, her father was in her life, but her father was in the city, and she lived with my grandparents. And as she lived with my grandparents, even though she had plenty of uncles and aunts, and she had a lot of cousins. Hey, Omega, how are you? Um, she had the misfortune of not having a mother that was very vital for any young woman to have, any child. Not having a mother at an early age and not knowing your mother can leave a very big void in your life. And she grew up always feeling that loss, always feeling that void of not having her mother in her life. And she grew up with a lot of different insecurities because of that. When she was in school, all of the kids had their mom and their dad, and she had her grandparents. And occasionally her dad would come out of town and check on, to be there for some events, school events. But it was always a void in her life because of not having that mother. And she became very insecure as a woman, a lot of different things. Hey, yours, Mike, a lot of different things she had insecurities about just because of that void. And okay, my mother was 6 months old when her mother died. She was raised by her grandmother and grandfather, right, Chiki? And a lot of people do have that misfortune where they lose either both parents or one parent. And you have to figure out as a child how to deal with that, because no one comes with a manual to help children on how to cope with grief. Because one thing that people are not aware of, kids do grieve, but they grieve differently sometimes from us. And sometimes we don't pick it up unless we're really paying attention to the children. Sometimes they act out negatively, or they just have a lot of insecurities that hinder them in their adult life. And I think about a lot of different things in the world, and we look around and we see all the bad things that are happening to children, to adults. Hey, the word, how are you? I'm glad to see you. And we wonder, where is God, or where is the protection? I mean, why does this happen to good people? And just really, to be honest with you, life is just unfair. I'm just going to be honest with you. Some things that happen to good people that we consider good, we find it very disheartening that they have to deal with certain things. You have children dying. For example, the pastor of the school, he's over the church, but I guess the church is also owned is it owns the school as well. The pastor that lost his daughter through due to the shooting that happened in Nashville, Tennessee. And I think of him, and I wonder, is he saying, why God? Why, hey Drea, how are you? Why God did you allow this to happen to innocent people and to my child? Why did you take my child? And I'm pretty sure he has those questions when it first happened. And if not, he probably has it now, because he's probably in a state of shock that this would happen on, at his campus, at the church that he's over. And I just think about those things. And I want to share this video with you. Please like, share, and subscribe, guys. Press the like button. And I'm going to play this video. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you have seen this, all the stuff that's been going on. And going to just play a few things on the news that I saw. So just bear with me, guys.
Scruggs. Before her family and her father moved to Nashville, he served as associate pastor at Park City's Presbyterian Church. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager talked with the current pastor of Park City's Presbyterian tonight. Peyton.
Clarice, and he says he is close friends with Chad Scruggs. The two, they actually talked on the phone today, just hours after the mass shooting and hours after Scruggs learned he lost his daughter. Now the church here in Dallas is planning a prayer service for tomorrow. Fox 4 has learned the deadly school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee Monday morning has North Texas ties. The 9-year-old daughter of a former pastor at Park City's Presbyterian Church in Dallas has been identified as one of the young victims in Monday's mass shooting. Chad Scruggs worked at the Dallas church from 2013 to 2018 as an associate pastor. A YouTube video from Park City's page in 2020 shows Scruggs staying in contact with the Dallas church after his move to Nashville.
We really look back on Dallas as one of the, especially the years at PCPC, is one of the fondest times in our life, the life of our family.
Scruggs is currently the lead pastor at Covenant Presbyterian Church in Nashville, where Monday police say a 28-year-old transgender woman opened fire inside the private Christian school. Also, 3 children were killed, including Chad Scruggs' daughter, Hallie Scruggs. The shooter, who is believed to be a former student of the school, was killed by police.
I talked to Chad this afternoon, and we're close friends. So we spent about 15 minutes on the phone, just talking first as fathers. How are they doing? What's going on in terms of the family? How are the other children dealing with it, et cetera? And what you saw was just incredible brokenness, such sorrow, but also incredible faith that the gospel that they preach, they really believe in the truth of who Christ is and how they're resting in him.
During his time in Dallas, Chad Scruggs was also a campus minister at Reformed University Fellowship at SMU. Park City says Covenant Presbyterian Church in Nashville is a sister church, and many of the members in Dallas have deep friendships and family connections in Tennessee. The Dallas church says it will open its doors Tuesday for a prayer service, offering its faith family a place to grieve.
When I heard it, I was in shock. And then you're hoping that, it's not one that well. Your hearts are breaking for all who have been killed. But then when you realize, okay, this is a very, very close friend and a close friend of this church and our family together, it just brings you to your knees. And you feel the grief and the pain that this brokenness has revealed, this evil has revealed.
The senior pastor there tells me the Scruggs family, they actually visited Dallas just a few months ago. And he also tells me when Chad Scruggs was working here at Park City's Presbyterian, Hallie, she grew up here. She would run around the church all the time. Again, the prayer service is here tomorrow at Park City's at noon.
Well,
See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of times things in hey, Will T, how are you? A lot of times in life, hey, Real Cornbread, glad to see you guys. A lot of times in this life, we have a lot of misfortune to happen to good people. And I know for me, I wonder, where is God in this? I wonder why did this happen to that person? When you have all these criminals and bad people around here just getting away with things, like, why is it happening to those people? And I remember when I was a little girl, they always say, you can't question God. But I'm sorry, sometimes I got some questions. And I'm not always agreeing with what I'm seeing. You get what I'm saying? And I'm just being human when I say that. I just think of this man. I know for me, if that was my child, I would be heartbroken. I wouldn't even know how to pray. I don't think in that situation. It takes a lot of mental strength, and it takes a lot of support around, people that are around you to keep you grounded and keep you focused, and keep you not just letting yourself go. I know I would be very angry. I can imagine being very angry, besides hurt. Um, there's just many emotions that you probably can feel through that while you're going through that. And I'm just I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, I would be I would be enraged. I would. I would wish that, I could have killed her. I could have did something to protect my baby from being killed. And I think that's what most good parents, um they feel. Most good parents wish that they could have done something. I think about the children that were in, hey QT, I think about the children that were in Uvalde, and they were, I think it was a whole class of children. And I think, I don't know if this assailant had an assault rifle as well, but he went in and he killed those children and those teachers. And I'm wondering in my head, why did this happen? And I think about those parents and the spouses of those, and the loved ones of those who lost their loved ones. How are they doing? Is life breaking them down to where the pain of grief and, the loss of them, of their loved ones, is life breaking them down to where they can't find their way, or are they moving through the pain? I don't know. Like, I wish I could talk to those people. And I just know from the people that I have talked to, and when I've talked to those people, some people have broken, and they have not ever came back to to themselves. And some people have learned to take one thing at a time. I had a aunt, my aunt Minnie. She was, I don't know what number she was, but out of the 12 children that my grandparents had, I think she was number 5. I'm not for sure. But she had a lot of misfortune. I think about her, and and I'm like, dang, she is so strong. My aunt Minnie was the oldest girl out of 12. She had an abusive husband, and then, well, I'm not going to say abusive, but they just didn't get along very well. I'm going to just say that. And other things. But she had a son that drowned when he was 20, trying to save his friend out of a lake. After she lost her, well, she had, before she lost her first son, she had a few miscarriages. Then she ended up having, I think she had 5 children. So out of her miscarriages, that one son that she had ended up drowning in a lake for trying to save his friend. Then she had another son that ended up going in for a minor surgery. He ended up coming back handicapped, couldn't talk, couldn't walk, and the daughter decided that she couldn't take care of him, so my aunt took care of him. And she did the very best she could until he passed. Then she had another son who passed at a young age. And then, so it was just, so no, she had 6 children, I'm sorry. So after those 3 children died, she had 3 left. And she just had a lot of things to happen to her. She had a lot of sick illnesses. She had heart attacks. She had a lot of different things happen to her, but she still kept in good spirits. She still was a giving person. She still was helpful to other people. And she never let what she was going through get her to where she became bitter. She always had a smile on her face. She always embraced people. She was known around the town as as Minnie, and Minnie Joe, and everybody loved, from what I know of, and loved and embraced my aunt because she was just that type of person. She would help anybody. And regardless of the things and the misfortunes that she had in her life, she never let it affect her spirit and her character. And I think one day I did ask her, I said, how did you how did you stay strong? How did you not give up? And her answer was, she stayed on her knees and she prayed and she asked God to give her the strength that she needed to get through every day, every minute, every second. And I thought that that was really something, because her faith was it was so strong that it didn't take away her spirit and her character. And I thought that was amazing, because I don't know if I had it in me. I don't know if I have that much faith to encounter everything and still be like she was. Like, it takes a lot, but you look at some people that go through some things and they don't have that. They either get addicted to different types of drugs. They either get addicted to, you know, things that are not good for them. They get addicted to drugs, sex, gambling, whatever. It's okay to have some recreation. Don't get me wrong. But some people get addicted to other things because they can't deal with the pressure. They can't deal with life. You got some people that they be in this world, and you see them on the streets, and you ask them a story. You ask these people stories, tell them, they tell you their stories, and they're like, they've been through a lot. And for some, life has broke them down to where they just like, I just don't give a damn. If I die today, that's good. At least I'm not feeling how I'm feeling. But some people are like, well, if I give up, you know, that might it might be a better outcome if I don't. So why give up? Let me just take one day at a time. Let me just keep moving. And that's what I saw my aunt Minnie do. She said, "Really, I don't have a choice to give up. I mean, I do, but it's not going to be helpful to me or my family or my grandchildren, because she wanted to leave a legacy for her grandchildren and her great grandchildren. Number one, to have faith in a higher power, in the Most High. But the second thing was, life is not going to always be sweet. You're going to have a lot of bitter, bitter days, bitter times where you just don't even feel like being here. But you got to be strong and make the choice to keep going." And I think that's, like I said, that's what I got from her. And when I think about me going through different things and different experiences with people and just life in general, that is what keeps me going, because I have people like that in my family that don't give up. Hey, Meek, how are you? Glad to see you. So that's what keeps me going. Hey, Arabia. So when you kind of see life kind of getting a little rough, you got people that should be an example. Like, there's so many people that have been through things and didn't let life break them. And there's some people, a lot of people that have. But if you're still waking up every morning, there's still a chance for you. There's still a chance that things could actually work out for your favor. You know, things could actually change around for you. But you won't never know that unless you give up. You will never know that. And that's what keeps me going, to not give up, even though I see a lot of things coming. I see some people trying to break my spirit. I see other things in this world where it's so much negativity, it's so much bad things happening to children and good people. Those kind of things can wear on you. And I think about Will T. Think of a few I think it was a month ago, Will T. Hey Nate, how are you? I'm so glad to see you. You were talking about I think your child's mother was murdered, and how you were trying to take one day at a time with that. And I can't do anything but applaud you for it, regardless of how you handle it. You're still here. And I hope that you can become even stronger so you can instill different things in your child that lost his mother, not to give up, to keep going, keep doing well in school, keep being a better man. you know Make sure you don't make the same mistakes maybe that I did. And I hope that you instill that in your son, and you keep reinforcing that. And like I said, we all had some tragedy in our life. Hey James, I'm glad to see you. And it's just how you embrace it, how you take it. And I hope that everybody that even watches this knows that nobody is alone when it comes to life and when life happens. And life happens fast and it happens strong sometimes. And you just have to be able to kind of weather the storm, I would say. You have to have some type of strong faith in something. You have to have some good people, strong people around you that is going to be there and not, and really be there for you. And you just have to make the decision in your mind that you're not going to allow life to break you, because it will try. It tries every day. It's so many people that struggle with depression, people that put on a good smile. I've met people that you would never think were suicidal. They put on a good smile when they see you. Oh, hey, hey, hey. When they see people, their coworkers, their friends, their family. And then you find out that they killed themselves. You remember, I think it was last year, was it Miss USA? I believe her. I don't remember her name. Yeah, I might have to put it in the chat. Hey, King Me, I'm glad you came. And this lady was beautiful. I mean, she was 30. To me, I would feel like she would be every man's dream. She's beautiful, intelligent. She had so many different things going for her. And she had this great, big, beautiful smile. She greeted everybody. She made every celebrity welcome when she would interview them. I mean, she just had a bomb personality. But when she got behind closed doors, that was a different story. That girl let life break her. And I'm not for sure what happened to her behind closed doors, but whatever insecurities, whatever she had going on in her mental, it tormented her to the fact to where she was just like, I'm done. And you never want to get to that point where you're like, you're done. Because when you have that in your mindset and you're really done, you're going to do something about it. And it's not always positive. So you have to, when you see yourself going to that route of I'm done, you need to talk to somebody. You need to talk to a friend. You need to talk to a counselor. You need to talk to a pastor or whoever. Just reach out and get help, because when you get like that, you're letting life break you. And you have to take one step at a time. You have to get out of that rut that you're feeling, because you have to realize in this world, in this day and time, you're definitely not alone. There's a lot of people that feel like you. There's a lot of people that walk around with a smile. There's a lot of people that act like it's okay and laughing and joking with people, but they can't stand themselves. They hate themselves. They wish they didn't wake up in the morning. And if you're feeling that way, you have to reach out, because I always say, regardless of what you believe in, you're here for a reason. It could be, your reason could be in a good parent. Your reason could be just being you and making people smile, making people laugh. Nobody is trash, right? Unless they, like I said, now some people act like trash, but nobody is trash, and nobody hopefully shouldn't feel so bad to where they want to take their life. And yes, Chris Lee. Okay, it was Chesley Chris. Okay. Yes, it was that. She was a beautiful young lady. Hi, Montrese. How are you? Glad to see you back over here. So when you're feeling that way, that's when you really need to reach out. And I want to talk to some people, and I'm going to open up my panel, because I want some people that have went through some hard things, because I know I'm not the only one that didn't feel like waking up in the morning. I know I'm not the only one that had to take one day, 1 minute, 1 second at a time. Like, I know I'm not the only one. I mean, there's been some times in my life where life did try to break me. And I said, you know what? Just to prove myself and others wrong, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going in spite of. And that's what makes the evil entity so mad, when you can wake up every day and you can say, I'm trying it again. That's when some people get mad, some evil entities. If you believe in good and bad, like I talked about the darkness and the light, that's what is those dark entities is what gets mad when you decide that you're not going to give up, that you're going to keep going, you're going to keep trying regardless of how bad it looks. Don't let life break you. And that's when I named the title, When Life Tries, because you don't have to let it break you. It may try to, but you have the choice, the free will to make the decision on whether you're going to let it break you or make you. And I'm choosing every day to let life make me, not break me. So we have that choice to do. Wilty, you said a lot of people on here truly high depression, but scared to open up about it because of what people may think. Right, Wilty, and that's for real. Like, all jokes aside, like, people really do. People hide behind jokes and laughs and joking and wanting to be the life of the party, when those are the main ones that struggle with depression and don't want to wake up. And it's just unfortunate that people feel like telling other people, hey, I ain't feeling it today, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling like giving up. It's really unfortunate that a lot of people can't say that. But the reason why is because you can't trust a lot of people. At the end of the day, you tell somebody that, they'll use it against you in the next month or so. And you're like, well, I told you this in confidence. So when I'm telling you something in confidence, I'm not wanting it to be blast to other people, right? So that's another reason why some people don't tell people their problems or what they're really dealing with on the inside. But if you can find that one good person that they have a good rapport with you, and they have a reputation of kind of keeping what you say to themselves, then that would be the person you would need to talk to. Even like I said, even if it's a counselor, but if you don't feel comfortable with a counselor, find somebody that you trust. And what I mean by that, you've seen that this person has a reputation of keeping other people's business to themselves, right? That's the type of person that you need to talk to, not somebody you're gonna we leery about saying anything around them. That's not a safe person. um I'm talking about safe people that understand that this is private and it should remain private. That's who you need to talk to. Keeping all of that in and saying that I'm strong and I can handle it is just basically making you more depressed, because none of us are that strong all the time. We're just not. We all have insecurities and vulnerabilities that allow certain things to affect us more than others. And we all have different triggers, right? So there's just some things that may affect you deeply that won't affect me. And when that happens, I need to be able to reach out to somebody that I can trust, that will keep my business between me and that person. Because keeping it within you and medicating it with drugs or sex or any type of thing that could get you addicted is only going to make things worse. It's actually going to make you feel worse, and it's going to make you feel like you're a waste. So that's why I said you just have to kind of make the choice. I wouldn't trust anybody on YouTube. I'm just gonna tell you. Like some people on YouTube, hey, just don't do that. That's not safe. I would say maybe outside, or if you have met somebody on YouTube that have a good reputation, you haven't heard them talking about it, anybody else's business, then maybe them, if they're private and they are no nonsense person. But just in general, just trusting anybody with how you're feeling, that if you want to kill yourself or you're really depressed about this or that, that's not safe. So you have to have to weed people out, I would say, and only you will know that, by just observing people. So I'm going to put this proceed with caution on YouTube. Exactly. We we definitely have to do that. But everybody's not bad, but there is a lot of bad people on here. So you just have to kind of just be cautious, and just be cautious, and know that, don't please don't keep your pain and stuff, don't keep that in. It's not healthy for anybody. I'm gonna pin this, and anybody that would like to come up, I did pin it in the comment section. If you would like to come up and discuss maybe some things that you've been through, how you maneuver through some of the things that you've dealt with. And I just want people to just, you don't have to tell all your personal business, but if you want to be able to share something. It's my girl Meek. Hey Meek, how you doing?
Oh shoot. Hey, can you hear
Yes,
me?
ma'am, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm doing this from my new computer, so I'm like, oh, did I? I thought I had hit the mute, but that was the camera. Because I'm
Yeah.
looking like Florida Evans here today. And
So happy you came.
no problem. I'm glad I did because I was like just following along with you just now. And man, looking at the chat, y'all almost had me over here in tears.
Why?
Just because I'm very sensitive to people going through things and then sometimes feeling that they don't have anybody to, have their back or help them or even just talk to,
Exactly.
life is hard, very hard. Like you
Very.
said, we all experienced, I'm sure, some traumatic things in life. I'm 50,
Mm-hmm.
so I can go back to 5,
Right.
but it's just the one thing that I wanted to say when I first got on was that I think that if you haven't already, now more than ever, a relationship with God is very important. It's like,
Mhm.
it's very, very important
Right.
because the times we are in, like anything can happen. You send your baby to school and that baby don't come home,
Right.
we can, I'm not here to push any faith on anybody, but whatever you believe, it's time to get a relationship with God, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to help us. Yes, I'm not saying we have therapy. God made therapy.
Right.
You have things that you're going through and you can't talk to nobody. 100% find you a good therapist so that you can unpack those things and not have it just wearing on your heart. And like you said, numbing things down with substances or sex and all that. I'm gonna tell you flat out, from a person who's been through and who's come out of many things. I've been delivered from many things, many
Mhm.
things. When we take in like drugs, alcohol, people, we're only opening doors for other things. Like you said, it doesn't help. It may feel good in a moment or take your mind off of things for a moment, but then you begin to open those doors to allow those things in that will tell you you're not worth it. You're no
Right.
good. You shouldn't even be here. You failed, and a lot of people don't realize that, because I mean, I done been party girl. I still have my cocktails or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I've also been the girl that would get high, blue, black out my mind, just not to feel.
Wow.
And I ain't been on crack or nothing.
Right. Right.
But I would say I was an alcoholic. I
Mhm.
would say I was a functioning alcoholic. I'm from Ohio.
Mhm.
And I honestly believe that if I didn't leave Ohio, actually, yeah, if I didn't leave Ohio, I don't think I would be alive, honestly,
Wow.
because I was bored. I didn't know who I was, where I was going, what I wanted to do, none of that stuff. And after a while, it just, drinking was easier. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
was easier. Kids' father in and out of prison. It was easier to get drunk,
Hmm.
you know. And I'm like, in the last 3 years, I've lost my father.
Mhm.
That's 3 years ago. And then in the last year, my mom, uh, my stepson, which is my kid's oldest brother,
Hmm.
passed away from fentanyl. And
Oh my God.
I think that a lot of his problem was he didn't know how to talk to somebody.
Right.
And he was, popping pills and things like that. And that was the end result. And that's why it's not good to use those things, because that stuff ain't even safe anymore.
Exactly.
Um, then it was my uncle, my dad's youngest brother, like a week after him. And then it's like my oldest cousin from my grandparents. Like, I feel like I can't breathe. Can I get a footing
Right.
before you take somebody else?
Yeah.
And it's okay to ask God why,
Mhm.
but we have to be okay with what his answer may be.
Or if there's no
Or
answer.
if there's no answer, you
Yeah.
know. And I follow this guy named Stephen Chestnut. If y'all look him up on Instagram or Facebook, he is the bomb. But
Mhm.
he always says a phrase where he says, every year we celebrate our birthday and we pass our death day.
Hmm.
We just don't know the year.
Yes, indeed.
And that thing resonates with me so deeply. It ain't even funny, because I was one who grew up thinking like, oh, other people's parents die.
Mhm.
You don't think about it until your grandparent died. And it's like, wait, hold on.
Right. Right.
Um, it's unfortunate that a lot of these people are out here in the world just lost and maybe have parents that ain't so great and just out here doing these foul things.
Right.
And it's like, if the world was a little kinder, maybe we would notice a person's sorrow
Hmm.
as they pass us by. We're so worried about what that person is doing to this person, or just fueling the hate. Yes, we have a
Right.
huge problem with racism. Huge. But that doesn't negate us from being kind to people, because we
Right.
have a box of people that don't know how to act, Like
Yes,
you said,
indeed.
we all have a purpose here. What if your purpose is to go out and spread cheer to somebody?
Exactly.
That one moment you're in the store and you feel like you should say something to somebody, but then you don't.
Right.
And then that person go maybe be unalive in the next hour.
Yeah, and see, that's what I was talking about last week, Meek. I was talking about I have no regrets with my father, because I said, when he was, his last 10 years of his life, I had to do a lot of forgiving. But also, as I forgave and let go, I learned about him, and he learned about me. And I learned that, it's the little things to show kindness, uh, to people. Even with my father, I learned to just be kinder, even, you know, with the things that have happened, what he has maybe said to me. And I learned to be kind. And in return, he learned to be kinder to me. I think, like you said, we pass people every day, and we don't see them as another soul, I guess, in so many ways, because we're so used to people getting on our nerves. We can't really see sometimes the soul of a person, that this person is not just a shell. This person is really a spirit, and it's nothing wrong with people being kind, but it's so hard to be kind sometimes to people in this day and time. That's why I have to program. I don't know if you have to reprogram your mind and remind yourself to try to treat people the way you want to be treated. Do you kind of have to reprogram yourself, your mindset, to see people as a soul, you
It took
know?
it took me a minute because I'm very quiet and
Mhm.
laid back a little bit. I don't bother people.
Mhm.
And sometimes it takes me a minute to get, fired up. But then it's like when I pop off, all hell breaks loose.
Mhm.
And I had to first learn who the hell that was. Like, wait, you little 5'2", you can't whoop the world. But it's like, what was I doing? Like my trigger points were so bad and I didn't have issues with females.
Mhm.
I had issues with men, where
Mhm.
I felt backed into a corner.
Mhm.
And the only way I knew how to come out was fire out the mouth. and,
Yeah.
and I mean, people would look at me like, whoa, is that her? I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
tired of this, and for a while I did have to reprogram myself, not to react, but to respond.
Okay.
You
And
know,
what does that mean for some people that don't know?
well, a reaction can be slapping the hell out of you,
Mhm.
but a response, I believe, is thought out. You
Mhm.
know, it may take you 10 seconds to think of the consequences of your response.
Hmm.
And then sometimes response is no response, and
Right.
you got to be okay with that. Sometimes we have to walk away because it might save your life, it might save your freedom.
Mhm.
And I think that was the first part of my approach. And then maybe 5 years ago, that's when I started to build my relationship with God. And I started to learn, like, how they say, his thoughts are not our thoughts, his ways are not our ways.
Mhm.
But I started to ask myself, like, okay, well, if his ways are different than mine, what way is it that he is that I need to be?
Hmm.
We know that God is kind. We know that he has grace for us. We know that he has mercy and those things like that. So how can I be more like that?
Hmm.
So that's like my focus right now, is to be more like, for me, more like Christ. I don't want to be out here losing my mind because the next person is something wrong with them. Because most times it's not nothing wrong with you. It may be something with them. So I have
Right.
to learn how to tap into that, my faith source.
Hmm.
And when you was talking about your aunt, I was just like, mm-mm. Even before you said she stayed on her knees, I was like, "Boy, that was a praying woman."
Yes, indeed. And
Because
that's what
it
I'm saying. And,
takes
and I'm talking about staying on her knees in prayer.
it
Because
takes a lot. I mean, I used to pray in
yeah.
the car, in the bed, in the shower. But
Yeah.
I was a person who didn't pray at all.
Wow.
until I got traumatized by a relationship and I didn't know what else to do.
So at first, you did try to cope with it, like with alcohol at first, right?
Alcohol, weed. I might have popped a pill or two, but like I said, I ain't never put nothing in my nose because I'm scared. I'm scared like that. But I was drinking like a grown man when I was
Really?
like when I was young, and I
Yeah.
could drink. I almost killed myself drinking. I had a DUI
Wow.
in '05. Wrong way on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
But that was me not being settled in myself, who I am. We need to know who we are, and then there's the part that we need to know whose we are. And I
Right.
think when we bring those two together, we start to begin to cope with things. Not saying things aren't still hard or you still won't go through things, but you have that source to turn back to, in the meantime, while you might not have your homeboy next to you that you can talk to, or your sister girl that you can call on the phone. Like me, my friends are in compartments. I have those I can talk to spiritually. I have those I can, kick crack with. Then I have those that I probably would never talk about nothing spiritual with. But I know who to go to. It's almost like on your phone where you have your favorite five, your fave 5. You gotta have that in real life, I think. Not just the people you just call on your mom, kids, those things, but you gotta have your lifelines. That's what was on that one game show.
Yeah.
Your lifelines,
Right.
and we all have them. I think that sometimes,
Some people don't, though. That's the scary part. When you don't have
yeah,
that.
it may not be immediate family.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it'll be that person you least expect.
Yeah.
But that's why I say therapy and God until you figure that out, because no one deserves to drown in their own, grief and sorrow. Grief
Right.
is very tricky, because when my parents died, I thought something was wrong with me because I felt like I didn't feel anything. But
Right.
after the fact, I realized I was being prepared long before they went. And then I had to grieve that because I thought I was supposed to be crying all over the place and can't eat and get out the bed. And when that didn't happen, I felt bad.
Right.
So I had to grieve the way I grieve, that I didn't grieve the way I thought I was supposed to.
Well, see, that's the scary part, because especially if you know your parent is about to die, like if they're in hospice and you know that hospice is the last that's the last stop for some
That
people.
came later with me.
Yeah, and so
I
when
think I was being prepared before my dad even got sick. My mom, she died at 68. She had dementia. She got
oh,
dementia very, very young.
mm-hmm.
And there was just things like that I now realized that was preparing me. Like I was a spoiled child too, up until I was
Yeah.
33. If I didn't leave Dayton, Ohio, I went to Cleveland. If I didn't leave there, I wouldn't know how to take care of myself today without my mother.
Wow.
So I think it goes all the way back then. We've been equipped. It's just for us to realize where it started and then put those things into play. I seen Will T that said he didn't have if he had a strong foundation,
Mm-hmm.
baby, God is your strong foundation. It may seem that way, but they also tell us that God is a father to the fatherless, and he's, whatever you need in that family. And I just hope that you hold on and keep going, keep your strength. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you're doing well. If you're here to say that to us on YouTube, you're doing well. But don't ever think you're
Right.
gonna have your foundation is the strongest when you get
Right.
grounded in him. And I pray that you will find that, that good group that you can, just release to, if nothing else.
But we also have to let go and let go of the old behavior, like that keeps us from moving forward too. Because I notice a lot of people, they say they want to change, or they say that they want the help, but they're not willing to let go of the bad behavior or the stuff that keeps them from moving forward. So it's kind of like and this goes for me and anybody else. We have to make the decision where we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's a lot of when people decide to really say, "Hey, I need to get help, or I can't allow this to take me down." you know, and we have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And only we all have individually have that sick, when you sick and tired, you know, we all have that point, you know, when we get that way. Everybody is different. And I hope that people will recognize that only you can make that decision in your life to take it to another place in your life. And sometimes it's not going to happen overnight. Sometimes it takes time. So we have to not get weary or get impatient with the timing. Hey, Sad and Blue, how are you?
It's a process, you know, and I think a lot of time what hinders us is number one, fear,
Yes.
because we don't know what's on the other side of letting go and, you know, allowing someone else in to help us, or let go and let God. We don't know what's on the other side if we're used to not doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have pride, you know. We can see great examples of other people how they came through things, but then we kind of, man, I ain't on that. I ain't, you know, it's a lot of things that we have to move out of the way to get into a better space, you know.
Right.
Like even with myself now, I'm here in South Carolina. I don't have no family here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a stylist, so I met people since I've been here, and I have a few people that are great people, but there are times when I'm like, God, I'm alone. I don't have anybody, you know. I can't call my cousins if I get in when I got in a fight, I couldn't call no cousins to come and help me. Like it gets hard. You know, I had to really just one day I was living in this apartment and it was like the ghetto. I ain't even gonna lie. I went over there thinking like I'm gonna save some money, I'm gonna downsize. I know it's income based.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I do that? But I lost all my peace.
Wow.
And at that, it was then where I had that click, that little aha moment that said, you got to get back to where you was trying to go a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I say, God is your strong foundation. Because if it wasn't for that, I probably would have lost my mind over there. I still think I got a little PTSD messing around with them people. But once I started getting back on that path, it's like rapidly I got out of that situation. You know, where I live now, like I tell people, I moved up to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Yeah.
And it was never because I couldn't afford it. It was just me and my mind after COVID, you know, when it shut down for stylists, that was kind of hard. And I'm thinking like, I thought I was doing something good, you know, but that was the worst decision I had made. But it also built character, you know.
Yeah.
For me to get up. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm all the way up, but I'm still going, you know, and I find my peace in knowing that I've been through things and I've come out of things. I've been through things and I come out of things. So what's going to make this time different?
Exactly. And you know, you have a powerful, really, a story. You really do. And my buddy up here, King Me, what's up? Look, you making me feel bad because I look. You don't have to cam up if you don't want to.
It don't matter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm glad to have you up here, King Me. So can you tell me a little bit of your story? How did you?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell that. I just wanted to piggyback on something. I don't know what the young lady's name is that's speaking right now.
Miss Meek.
Meek.
Mink.
Yeah.
Something that she said. She was talking about doubting God and you know, or asking God why and all of that. And I went through that as well. One thing that I know is that living by faith doesn't necessarily absolve you from opposition. Because we always say that, like, oh, just live by faith, pray about it, all that. We all say a bunch of superlatives and things that we think that sound good at the time. But the reality of it is, just because you're trying to live good, that's when you're most vulnerable. And when you're at your lowest, that's when you're most vulnerable. And you can have a lot of things that come into your life. And I think what I've learned over the years is that, I mean, I'm not overly religious, but I'm spiritual. And those are two different things.
Exactly.
And I know what I've seen over time is when I get off path just a little bit, that's when I'm vulnerable. And what I realize is like the devil or whatever negative spirits, whatever negative energy that you have, that that devil is in fear of your potential.
Exactly.
If you praying a lot, if you walking right, if you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, the devil is scared of that, because
Right.
that means you're listening. That means you're putting prayer, you're putting thought into actual action. And if you doubt, a lot of stuff is going to lead to fear,
Exactly.
and if you fear things, it's going to lead to doubt. So
Hmm.
it's those two things walk hand in hand. Um, Yeah, but my situation was a little different than, and I was listening to Miss Mink and the things that she was saying. I mean, that's a lot to deal with in such a short period of time, and then to be able to try to take that and turn it into something, positive the way that you did. Like, you went through your storm, you went through everything that you went through, and you came out of it on the other side. And I don't know you personally, but I mean, I can say I'm proud of you for that, because a lot of people don't come out of that. They
Mhm.
don't.
Honey,
They'll,
I still, and we still, the thing is, you still be going through things, even when you come out of
right,
things. And when you were saying, like, when you get off that path a little bit, that's when that evil comes.
right,
But just think, if life was just simple and easy and everything was a breeze, enemy has nothing to come at you for. Like you said, it's your potential,
right,
and our role isn't easy, it isn't designed that way.
right,
What we got to do to get to where we do going is for somebody else. Just think, if like, I'm telling pieces of my story, somebody here can relate to that, and maybe
right.
see, like, look, you're gonna be all right. It might not seem like it, but yeah, it's like, what they say, if you don't have any kind of adversity, then something ain't right.
I mean, you said it yourself. You said you were spoiled.
Yeah, I was.
Like, you grew up a certain type of way, and that's the way that you see the world. And all we're like, all we'll ever be like, going terms is sum totals of whatever the experiences are that we've been through in life. That's the way that we see the world. Until we get out, until we explore a little bit more. And so, that's a different deal. My situation, I don't know if Will T gonna jump up here, but something he was saying that he was going through. It's not the exact same, but I know he could relate on a different level. It's not the same exact thing, but I had a girlfriend that I was with at the time. She lost her life. She had cancer,
Wow.
and I was young, well, younger. It wasn't that long ago. Um, but I didn't know how to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And I think her
Mhm.
her family, they kind of kept me from a lot of stuff, because I'll be real with you. I was so focused on what I was doing at the time and so focused on my career. I didn't know anything about no hospice. I didn't know what the hell a hospice house was, because I never knew anybody in my family or anybody around me that had been there.
Mhm.
So what they told me initially was that, well, she's going there because they'll give her better care. She'll be more comfortable. I had no idea what that was. I know a lot of people gonna be like, "How you don't know what the hospice house was?" Well, I ain't know.
Exactly.
I never had nobody who had actually been there, so I didn't know.
Mhm.
Um, and so, like, and it was weird, because when she got sick initially, I was there. I was still doing what I was doing at the time, as far as the work that I was doing. I would come by, I'd make sure she had everything she needed, get her food, make sure she had a bath, feed her, all the stuff that you're supposed to do, or that you would do if you were either a family member or a significant other, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and so the right around that time, I was going through some stuff with my mom, in
Right.
her personal situation. So it was a lot. It was a whole lot going on. So when they called me, I was asleep, and what they were calling me for was to tell me that she had passed.
Wow.
But I didn't, I didn't know. Like I said, I was asleep. So, well, actually, they were calling me to tell me that she was about to. Now,
Mhm.
I don't know if I would have made it up there in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those are the things that you think about as you get older and you go through things, and you just like, dang, man, like, what if I would have just got up? What if I would have just got up and I hopped in the car and I would have got down there? Could I have had one last word, one last conversation, or whatever? And
Mhm.
those things weigh on you. It's no different than the person who had a bad or a strange relationship with a mother, a father, a grandfather, a grandmother, uncle, aunt,
Right.
whatever. They think about stuff like that, and they their mindset and their mentality, it is like, man, like, if I would have just said, what if I would have just said, how you see stuff that we watch, certain apps or stuff that we watch, and certain TV shows that we watch, and they'd be like, well, the last thing I said was, get out of my house, or I hate you, or
Exactly.
whatever. You know what I mean? It wasn't I love you. It wasn't, anything positive. It was something negative. You got to live with that type of stuff.
Right.
And so, and I went through it, I mean, I went through the same thing everybody else did, the grieving process and all of that. But initially I didn't take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And with Miss, what's her name? Is Mink?
Meek.
Mink, sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
Was saying is that you didn't feel nothing initially, but then later on it like hit me like I'm talking about like smacking the face. I was just sitting there one day. It was nothing going on. TV, you know what I mean? I was watching TV, nothing crazy. And then I got to thinking, and it was a wrap. Like I broke down for like at least a good 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
And those next 3 months were very difficult because I realized that I was trying to be there for everybody else that was dealing with it, but I hadn't had my chance to really deal with it. And I'm good now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've at this point now, like I'm good. I've been good for a while because I understand there's a lot of things that's happened since then that she talked about that actually happened and they came to fruition. So it let me know whatever you believe in. I don't care if you believe in God. I don't care what you believe in. But my faith is a little different because, like I said, I'm not religious, but I am spiritual.
Exactly. And that's really powerful, King Me, and I'm glad that you shared your story. I know that was probably hard for you, but like I said, that could have broke you. That could
Yeah,
have broke you. And the fact that you just take it one day at a time, basically, because
yeah,
you have the hope that she's in a better place, and she's
yeah,
not suffering. And that's what we have to look at things like that. We just have to first, grief is really about accepting that's the first part, I think, that comes with grief. But it's a lot of other things, emotions and things that we go through. But like I said, a lot of people can let death break them,
yeah.
you know. And some people, they just learn to accept it and know that, all of us are going to die one day.
Yeah, it's the manner in which it happened. Because I think the thing that was difficult for me initially was that it was in remission.
Right.
So her hair grew back, like it grew back like long. I was like, hold on, bro, like what you,
As
you know
long
what
as
I'm
you.
saying? Yeah, like it grew back, and then she, he was chilling, she was working out, gained weight back and everything. But then when he came back the second time, it was aggressive and
Wow.
it was everywhere. And that's the thing that I think that threw a lot of people off. And like I said, at funeral, it was standing room only, and I'm like, I didn't even know this many people knew you, bro. Like
Right.
you got a whole, you know what I mean? You got a whole thing going on, and that's the thing. Like you can allow something to break you, but for me, it elevated me.
Mm,
After all of that happened, because it let me understand what you were saying earlier. Like life is precious, and you got to cherish it the right way. If you don't care about your life, cool. Do what you do and do everything that makes you feel better about the situation that you're in. I'm not going to dissuade nobody from doing what they feel like they need to do. That's on you.
right.
You know,
Right.
we done all said things. We done all did stupid stuff. We done all hurt people. People done hurt us. We done all did every single thing that you could think about. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be judged by how many times you went to church, how
Mm-mm.
many times you read the Bible and all of that. It's going to be about this right here, like what you
Right.
got in your heart and the type of life that you live. If that's the type of person that you are, if you a piece of shit person, sorry, I mean to curse on your platform.
No, you can do
Um,
it.
but if that's who you are, that's who you are. But
Mm-hmm.
don't put that on nobody else to, you know what I'm saying, carry that for you, because it's about you and you. And the relationship that you build, however many people's lives that you impact, that's how your life is gonna be judged. It's not gonna be judged on because I'm sure everybody on this panel know, we all know people who Bible toting, they go to church
Right.
every Sunday, all 6, 7 days out of the
With a
week.
dirty
And as
heart.
soon as they walk out of there, they don't follow nothing that they just read. They don't live
Right.
by it. They don't put it into action. None of that.
Right.
So it is what it is. What up, Will T?
And I want
What
everybody to be themselves.
What
This
up,
is
brother?
I want everybody to be themselves, okay? So it's don't ever think you can't say what you want to say as long as we're respectful of each other.
Oh no, I ain't disrespecting nobody.
No, I
I'll be
know,
done.
King, you're a gentleman. Will T, can you tell us a little bit about your story? Because I know you went through a lot too in just the past couple of months or so. Are you there, Will T?
Yeah, I think I got it now. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
I
me?
can hear you.
Okay. I thought I was breaking up because I couldn't hear y'all for a second.
Okay. So yeah,
But
can
yeah,
you tell
I
us?
agree with I agree with 305 said. Like I'm more spiritual too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, 'cause he done seen pimp pastors and all that, but I done seen it all. I seen a lot. I done seen a lot. Like I think you have to have a strong foundation to get through certain things. And
Right.
right now in today's age, the foundation of families is scattered all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So or blessed to have that situation happen with me. So when
Yeah.
the only mother of my child was murdered by her husband. So
Right.
I had my family, huddle around me. They was
Mm-hmm.
on me constantly, because I used to take like 7, 8 showers a night, you know, just to
Mm-hmm.
get it out, talk to my people, just keep it going. It's still hard,
Right.
you know, and it really hit hard when you see that person, laid down there, and you know that they're not gonna be there again, like physically,
Right.
So that's the part that really hard. And plus my 3 boys, so they all in college, and they doing good, and I got to keep it going. And one of my main things was I can't leave them,
Exactly.
so I put that inside of me. That's why, like, when I was up here BSing on lives and all that, I was having fun actually, but when that hit, it's like my mental isn't there. It's still not there yet to do what I did on my lives again like that. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I don't have time to mess with people the way I was, and it changed you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because other things need to be handled. You know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I have to be there for my sons, even
Mm-hmm.
more. Even though I'm there, but it's double time now.
So, Will, was it your 3 boys, all of their mothers, or just
Yeah.
one?
Now
Oh,
only had one.
okay.
All three of my boys by one woman.
So, how are they doing? Like, how are they adjusting to all of this?
They getting there. They back in college and everything, and they taking it one day at a time like me.
Okay.
We be on each other. So they making sure that hey, I can't leave you. You don't leave me.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different ball game. And then on top of that, I recently just lost a cousin
Oh,
off
I'm
an
sorry.
overdose or something like that.
Me too. Oh my
It's
goodness.
it's still it's still they still looking it up. But last year I lost my last of my best friends too off of fentanyl, like Meek said.
Wow.
Yeah, that stuff ain't no joke.
So
That's how my cousin passed. The one I said just passed. He
Mm-hmm.
passed. My stepson and my cousin fentanyl within
I'm
what 3 or 4 months.
sorry. Wow.
yeah, so like these last past 2 years have been like heavy on you, heavy on
Right.
me. And the only thing I had was my foundation, you know, like you said, my spiritual belief. As
Right.
like 305 said. And I did a lot of meditation. I didn't do too much of like, prayer like that, but I did pray, but I did mostly meditation. Because I
Mm-hmm.
like meditating. So to get myself right, to keep myself calm,
Mm-hmm.
collected, because my boys need me. So I can't be out here on some flipped out stuff. I gotta hold it down.
Right.
Let them know that everything's gonna be all right. And I
So
do it
can I
I do it daily.
Can I ask you all a question? So I know Mink, she believes in therapy. Do you men, do y'all believe in therapy?
You want to go first, bro?
Oh yeah, Kimi, you can go first if you
uh,
want.
I say this about therapy. You have to be in a headspace to be willing to accept it. Um, One of the things that I learned like over the years, if you're not ready to put the time in, and you're not really, I'm talking about like really ready to fight for it, because that's something that you believe in and that's what you really want.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be ready for change.
Okay.
So I believe in it, but I believe you have to be invested in it, because if you're not invested in it, you really wasting your time. You're wasting your money, and somebody else could be getting the help that you kind of taking for granted. But I believe in it. I believe in therapy. Um, I have family members who tried it. They weren't ready for it.
So basically, Kimi, you're basically saying you have to kind of have that I'm sick and tired moment of being sick and tired.
Yeah, I don't want to say it that way, because I don't think you should ever get to a point. I don't know. It's twofold, because if you get, it's almost like Miss Mink was saying, as far as your belief in God. A lot of people don't pray until they have no options left.
Hmm.
Like you fresh out of options, you done everything, and you ain't got nothing left, and it's like, all right, God, I know I don't pray a lot, and I know I don't do this, and I know I don't do that. I need you to save me.
Right.
That shouldn't be your end game. That shouldn't be where you at the very end of whatever it is that you're going through. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't pray. Like I said, if you believe whatever you believe in, do what you do. But you have to be ready to change. A lot of people have those moments, like you said, those sick and tired moments,
Mm-hmm.
and then they might go do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
A person who tired of being broke, they might be, you know what, man, I'm tired of being broke. I'm about to go rob this convenience store. I'm about to go rob the bank. Now you praying.
So
Now
not
you
that,
locked. Now you locked up and you praying.
not that sick and tired. Not that sick and
Not
tired.
that sick and tired. So I'm just saying, bro. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if you have to have a moment. You just have to try. God never asked us to be perfect. He never said be a model citizen, sit at the front of the class, sit at the front of the church, do everything perfect. Because if that was the case, we don't need him.
Exactly.
If you could do everything on your own, what you need God for?
Exactly.
I think
So
you, like he was
Yeah,
saying,
that's right though. That's
you got
right.
to be willing.
yeah,
Hmm. You have to
I
be.
think it's like a niche. I think it's like a niche thing with the therapy. I mean, like
yeah,
professional therapy, it's like a niche thing because certain people need the extra help or something. But like I said, I had, my family was my therapy. So if I didn't have my family, maybe I would have seeked out professional therapy or
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it. But I was lucky enough to have my foundation set. So,
that's a
but
blessing, bro.
huh?
So that's a blessing.
Yeah, it really is. Because nowadays they
Well,
want us.
therapists have therapists, just like lawyers have lawyers.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So they just like us.
I think
Exactly.
that when we look at therapy for what it is, and not like it's something to help us to, uh, let me see. Well, the way I see therapy is it's a place for you to go and have a safe place to just let it out.
Yeah,
And a good therapist will allow you to be to talk out your solution, not necessarily come in there and tell you, oh, this is wrong with you and this is what you need to do.
Exactly.
It's not something that's going to tell you, oh, you have XYZ, so this is what you need to do, ABC. They're going to go in there and have you to talk things out to figure, a lot of times, even if you don't go to therapy, have you ever been talking and while talking in a conversation, you just answered like 10 questions, like, man, it's kind of like that. As you talk, you start to figure these things out. And I think the problem is in Black communities, we've been taught like that was a taboo. You know, Black people don't go to therapy. Black people don't tell nobody when something wrong with them. You sweep it under the rug and you keep going.
Exactly.
Then when they get to a certain age and have a hard heart and a hard head, it's still you know. And like he said, you gotta want to change, but if you're willing, you know, I think that if we change our perspective of what we think therapy is for, it's not because you're crazy. You know, you go to therapy when nothing's wrong, just to keep your thoughts sorted out. You know,
Crazy is a dismissive term. People say that. Like, we all say it. Man, that dude crazy. Man, she crazy as hell. It's dismissive because we don't really understand what the person dealing with. We all say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know my counselor gives me goals. So, like, there's certain goals that I'm going to be focusing on that week, that particular week, and I have to accomplish those goals. It like gives me something to look forward to, and I'm working through whatever I'm working through at that time. So like I said, you know, I'm not going to say everybody needs it, but I am saying it is, for some people, it is essential. It is something that, you know, that some people may really need to kind of work some things through, because sometimes our family can be toxic, right? So we can't always go to our family members for certain things, or even our friends. So sometimes that counselor or that therapist could be that objective person, that listening ear, that maybe can help us work through some things, and also can bring some things to light, because some things you're not even aware that you have a particular problem in a certain area.
and
You
you
know what
know
I'm
what
saying?
too, Selena?
Uh-huh.
Not to cut you off, but you know how you said sometimes family is toxic. Sometimes your family is protective as well.
You're right.
And I think they'll prevent you from going into certain things because they think they're protecting you. But there are some things that we have to walk through, that we have to talk through. And just to be in that space where it's a non-biased person there that is not trying to, you know, come on, baby, come this way. Don't go, no, don't go over there, because there's a, you know, that's also helpful too. It's not always the fact that, you know, yes, you do have toxic family, but it could be that you don't need that protector. You know, like your mother is not going to let you get hit by a truck, so she's gonna grab your hand and hold you tight. You know,
Right.
so you may need to have that space just to unwind. You know.
And no limit. To answer your question, I have been going to a counselor for a few years now. I'm gonna say maybe 3 years. You know, kind of steady. And like I said, there's never a time limit. Sometimes there is, you know, depending on your different issues that you have. Some people may need longer, some people may need shorter time. So I had some things that I was working through, that I needed something a little bit longer, because I dealt with a lot of grief from loved ones that have passed on. So yeah. Okay, 11 here. So you've been okay. Yeah. So, like I said, some people have a longer stint of time in therapy and some people have a shorter time. It just depends on whatever your issues at that time, whatever you're dealing with. And I don't think anybody should be embarrassed about it. The people that do need it, that's laughing at other people, are the main ones that probably need it the most. So, like I said, therapy is nothing to be embarrassed about. And I know sometimes Black people, especially, you know, I've heard a lot of Black people that do feel like, you know, that there's something wrong with therapy, but it is very essential for some people. Some people need it. Uh, I use YouTube as a therapeutic tool as well. Oh, okay. No
Where
limit.
you be at getting therapy on YouTube?
Yeah, because you better be careful.
Hey,
You see, y'all, I've been traumatized. I had to.
one thing, one thing I will say though, broken people, hurt people, and judgmental people are very comfortable with pointing out flaws of everybody else. They're
Right,
very comfortable with that
right.
because it takes the attention off of whatever they're going through or whatever they're feeling, and it's very easy to project whatever it is. It don't matter what it could be, something small. But
Exactly.
we've all been guilty of it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
We go in the mall, we go in the grocery store, we look at somebody and we like, man, like what the fuck? Like we all do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's one thing to think it. It's another thing to put it on wax. And when I say wax, I just mean like putting it on social media or whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
In the
But
air.
that's a very different thing. But Selena, I'm about to go pick up the siblings at the
Yes.
airport.
I thank you so much, King Me. It was
So
such a blessing.
Salute
I
305.
appreciate you.
Salute,
Will
brother.
T, salute, my
brother.
boy. Hey,
Salute, brother.
I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna shoot you my info on the back chat, bro. So if you ever need to reach out, bro, you want to have a conversation, man, just holler at me because I know, like I said, that's a lot. I ain't in the same situation as you. I don't got kids, but I know that whole situation is a very different thing. So I'm gonna hit you on the back chat, or matter of fact, I'll just go to your channel. I'll hit you on this.
Or you could do both. You got IG. If you
Matter of
got
fact,
IG.
yeah,
If
I
you
got
got
you.
IG,
Yeah,
Will T. Sheldon.
we'll see you. All right, I'll hit you on the IG.
Yeah, on
Miss
IG.
Me, it was nice talking to you.
You too, sir.
Selena, be safe,
All right. You too.
be blessed, and keep continuing your journey with your therapy and finding what works for you. And it's not, like I said, it's not gonna be, like I said earlier, like just because you walk in a certain way, it's not gonna absolve you from coming through obstacles or having obstacles in your way. But you can go through them. You can be the best version of whoever you want to be. So
Exactly. Well, King Me's my boy. So thank you so much, King Me. You be safe,
already,
okay?
all right, I appreciate it. Y'all be easy.
Bye bye.
All right.
So glad to have him here.
Let
He's
me
so
ask you a
Hey,
question, Will, if I can. Will,
Excuse me.
with the passing of your children's mother, did you find that your children were probably a lot stronger than you thought they were? And in a sense, it was like you went into a mode. I mean, of course, you went into daddy mode, but did you see that they were a lot more resilient than you thought they would be?
I knew they was, but I didn't know to this extent, if that makes sense.
My kid's father passed away. He was in a car accident, somebody in a high-speed chase. Yeah, I'm talking about the stuff. It's like, damn, everything keep happening. But it was about 12 years ago. Some people were running from the police, and the police didn't have their lights on, and they smacked into my children's father. And
wow.
Like that day, my son called me. It was like the worst sound that I ever heard in my life. He was like 19, maybe somewhere around there, because he's like 31 now. But it was just they killed my daddy, and I'm like, oh Lord. And the man had 10 kids when he passed away. So
my goodness.
Yeah, he said he was gonna have 10. He said he was gonna get married and all this stuff. He did it. Like everything that man spoke, he did it. Like
you're right.
Divorced, but he did it. But when I was all in like mama mode, like all my babies, because that's how I look at all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to Ohio, for the funeral, I'm freaking out because this is my first love. Even though we weren't together for a long time, it still hit hard.
Right.
And when I saw them kids standing up like they did, I'm like, how y'all do it? Like it was like I was relieved and proud because I was able to be there, like the strong mother I wanted to be, and not, worrying that they weren't, I learned that they were going to be okay. Yes, it's hard, and they still go through, all of them. They have their moments, but they are so strong in that situation.
Yeah. Like it surprised me more on the mental part, but I knew, I've been around them from day one, so I knew they had it in them, but I didn't know until it hit how much they got it in them.
Right.
So that part took me by surprise, but I still also know that it's gonna take. It's just not overnight. It's gonna take a long time, So it's gonna take a long time, because out of my 3 boys, 2 of them was mama's boys, So so it's like I had one under me all the time, and the other 2,
they were mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that part surprised me.
Yeah.
About how they handle it mentally.
They had mama strength.
Yeah, because all 3 of them, they calm natured, so they really don't, unless you piss them off. They won't too much give you anything until you really piss them off. So, that's how it is with my boys. But me being the father, I know, it's like a connection. I know, so I know they still hurting really, 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 really bad.
Right.
And then I'm hurting, and on top of them hurting, it's like added pressure. So,
Hmm.
we make sure, we good. They hit me up, what's up, old man? Because they in college, they went back to college and everything. So that's a good thing too. They went back to, they class, interacting with people again and all that. So that's a sign. That's a good sign. Uh, my oldest, he plays semi-pro football, so he back, doing his thing too. So everything is getting back on the right track. But it'll never be the same.
No,
Never. So
it'll never be the same. And I'm glad that your sons are still staying in school and and not getting distracted and giving up on school because of the tragedy that has happened to them. And that just goes to show you how life is really making them the men that they are going to be. And that's going to be a good thing because they're going to learn how to endure. Because in this life, unfortunately, it's always going to be something. So we have to be able to endure those hard times. So your sons are really strong. They really are.
yeah, I know they really. And another sign they getting back to themselves
Mm-hmm.
is because when they come here, they raid my closet all the time, take my damn colognes and my fucking clothes. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
they getting back to it.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. You
And
know,
my condolences to Cece and your daughter. Unfortunately, like I was talking about earlier about suicide, a lot of suicide is because life has broke people to where they feel that they don't have any hope, any way out. And that's where we don't want to be. We don't want to get that low down to where that's our only option. And like I said, life happens to us all. We just have to know how to maneuver it and how to deal with it the best way we know how. And a part of us being successful in that is having the right people around us. That's a part, of course, faith, but in whatever you believe in or choose to believe in. But I'm talking more about your support system. That's very important to have real people around you.
yes, ma'am. I'm about to get out of here, Miss Selena. This is
Thank
a good
you,
topic.
Will. I
This is a good topic.
appreciate you. I
This is a
appreciate
good.
you so much.
This is a good topic.
Yeah, and I'll and
Uh,
I'll I'll keep you in prayer as well. And like I said, I appreciate you for your time. And this was a really good panel.
yeah.
Um, and I
hmm
appreciate everybody on that was on here because y'all really helped make the live. So thank you.
Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a blessed one. I'm
You
time for
too,
me to get
Will.
ready to hit this road. I'll be traveling, so I gotta hit this
Yeah.
road.
Okay. You have
Good
a safe
night. Be
night,
safe,
okay?
All right, y'all have a good one.
Bye bye.
girl. And I'm gonna jump off here for 12 more stories come out. I'm about to go out here and DoorDash.
Okay. Well, Meek, you were a blessing. Thank you so much. Y'all have made this live really special, really good. And I don't care if 20 people see it. It was good to me. And I feel like this subject was really something because there's so much going on in the world today. How we gonna take it? Are we gonna throw in the towel? Or are we gonna keep moving? And I'm
Mhm.
just glad that you kept moving. So
And
thank
you
you
know
so
what?
much, me.
One last thing that, like how you said, what kept me going is
Uh,
I remembered greater is he that is in me than he who is in the world.
right.
And I'm gonna keep it moving just like that. Even though it get hard, I might want to quit sometime, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going because I know what comes at the end. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
my encouragement to everybody is keep going. If it get hard, Dust yourself off, give your time. I usually, if I get in a way, I take 30 minutes to be pissed off, to be sad, or whatever it is. Then I'll be like, all right, Sheer, get up. Let's go.
Yep.
And snap out of it. You might need an hour, but whatever it is, don't stay there.
Exactly.
Don't stay there.
Well, Meek, thank you so
All
much.
right, my
And
love.
I hope you come back because, girl, like I said, I definitely need people like you to hit the panel and give me your insight, okay?
Let me know and I will. No problem. Good night.
All
Sheila.
right. Thank you. Good
Mhm.
night. Yeah, so thank you everybody. Everybody made this live really special to me because like I said, lately with some things that's been going on and loved ones that are getting sick and passing away, this subject was really important to me because life can hit you hard, so hard to where you just don't want to wake up. And I just know for me, it's just about making the decision to keep fighting, to keep taking one day at a time. And I hope that everybody on here take some of the advice and some of the nuggets that was said from my guest on the panel. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And just thank you so much. And like I said, you could have been anywhere on YouTube, but you were here. And I thank you so much for your time. And I hope that you got something from this. Thank you, Realist. I appreciate it. Thank you. So everybody have a nice night. Go through Cheeky, CC, the Realist, my friend CEO, QT, Mink, King Me, No Limit. Oh, I said No Limit. Kalani. Let's see who else was in here. James, Nate, The Great, Will T, Channel Chill Time. Chill Town, and Sad and Blue. See who else? Matthew, Larry Coleman. Let me see. I gotta go way up. Montrese, Yo is Mike. Thank you so much, guys, for making this live a special. Arabia, I made this live special, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I keep saying that, but I really do. Just saying. So thank you guys. Real Cornbread, thank you guys so much for being a blessing to me, just for being here. Your presence means a lot. Oh, you was coming up? Okay. I put the link in the chat. Let me see. You want me to put the link? No Limit. My buddy. Come on, No Limit. Come on up here. Thank you, James. Let's see what No Limit's going to say now. You better come on, No Limit. You know I'm waiting on you. I was coming up. You better come on up. Ice cream. Hey, Ice Cream Man. How are you, my buddy? Can you hear me?
My buddy, I can hear you. What's good?
What's good? I'm glad to see you finally graced my panel. Thank God. I'm
Much
happy to,
appreciated.
yes, I'm glad to have you up here. So what you got to tell me today?
Oh, my heart goes out to Will T. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just listening to his story, and the man was passionate about it too.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience myself, but it depends on how you built. Everybody handles situations differently,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So unfortunately, I lost my mom and a child. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So,
I'm
but the
sorry
thing
about
about
that.
it is,
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it, but my faith is strong.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it depends on how you build and what your
Right.
beliefs are. So for me, I have a hope of seeing them again. It's not
Mm-hmm.
over. So in due time, we just got to be patient and then keep
Right.
enduring.
Right. So basically, your faith, did some of your family help you while you were coping with this these deaths?
Well, my family, we're spread out. So, I mean,
Okay.
we communicate, but I mean, I'm so determined and I'm driven. It's like I can't accept no, I can't accept defeat.
So yeah, it's something you have to be built with inside.
It just
Hey Ben.
motivated me, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
striving.
right. And you've always, to me, you always had a strong voice. And I said, that's my buddy. It's something about you that I felt like, wow, you don't play. So I know you're like that in real life,
I mean,
So
that's where I come from, you know what I'm saying? But
where did you come from, if you don't mind me asked?
Shot Town.
Chi-town, okay. So you grew up in the rough rough, as my grandmother say, rough side of the mountain. So
That's
you you've been
no, see,
uh-huh.
no, see, that's where I'm from. But no, see, I was spoiled.
Oh, really?
Had a silver spoon and all that. But I mean, it's like I experienced both sides of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how a comedian you could blend in with any crowd.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
So I mean, I've had interactions with high class upscale individuals, you know, and then disenfranchised. So I mean, I could identify, you know, I've been through my little ups and downs, you know what I mean? But I keep
Mm.
picking myself up no matter what. So I'm successful now. So I'm
Okay.
content. And I have other children, and so they're spoiled
Mm-hmm.
more than I am, reaping the benefits. So I'm cool.
Benefits.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
cool.
So was that something that your mother instilled in you to be strong, or your father, or is that just how you are?
I was raised not by my birth parents, but
Mm-hmm.
my father's aunt. And
Okay.
she didn't take no shit. She was a corporate individual. She had cars. You know what I'm saying? She spoiled me and my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't want for nothing. And it's like her work ethic, her mentality. It's like I reflect on all that and I just incorporated it into my own little regimen.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm telling you, it works. So
Wow.
I have no complaints. And I'm grateful to the woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to pass that on to my babies.
Right.
So
Well, you definitely
salute, Cece.
you're gonna
Salute,
hey,
Chicken.
Candy, Candy James, you're definitely going to uh you're gonna have to tell people more about your corporate sense, because I feel like you have a lot of knowledge. And maybe one day when I have a live talking about that, things of like
Uh,
finances and things, maybe you can help me with that.
oh, that's kind of touchy because I don't want to promote the type of lifestyle that I engaged in. So,
Okay. Okay, I understand. But like I said, you've always been a sweetheart to me. So,
oh, most definitely,
yeah,
most definitely.
you always been a sweetheart, and I appreciate your kindness for just being a support for me and some of the other people in the chat that was here from day one. I just thank God for you. So I wish the best whichever way, and I'm glad that you are here, and I'm glad that a lot of things were instilled in you to keep you here and keep you going. Like you didn't give up. You didn't get sidetracked enough to where you just said, I'm done, and I'm just glad that you're here
For sure.
um
Appreciate that.
in the land of the living.
I'm a
So
I'm a go getter, but I'm not
mhm.
braggadocious. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. You
I don't put myself out there to make myself a target because you know everybody's watching you.
Yeah, unfortunately. So yeah, but like I said, always remain to me the same since I've seen you in the chats and everything. And like I said, you've always carried yourself as a person that don't play. So I can really see where you got that from. So you said you got it from your aunt. I can see that you do not play. You will let
Um,
people know what time it is. So I appreciate you for that. Is there anything else you wanted to add to the conversation about, not letting life break you?
you have to set goals. You gotta, if you want to get somewhere, you gotta focus. I
Mhm.
mean, you can't get nowhere if you don't have goals. So
Okay.
it depends if you have resources, if you have support system, individuals around, that motivate you, that kind of like test you to like push yourself. And
Hmm.
believe me, I was pushed. And I didn't look at it as nothing negative. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm.
these people got my best interest at heart. They want me to get somewhere. They want me to be accomplished. They want me to have something,
Mm.
you know.
So you have to have goals and that type of mindset to that I'm going to accomplish this goal no matter what. That's the
You have to be
mindset that you have
humble.
to have.
If you feel like somebody's preaching at you or beating you up because you're lazy, lacking motivation, it's like you want to make the best out of every situation, good or bad.
Mhm.
So, I know it depends on who's telling you this, or if you like the person, if you don't like them. You could hear some real shit from somebody who you really don't give a shit about.
Right.
I'll give you an example, like with the content creators, like Tommy Soto.
Mhm.
A whole lot of people don't like dude, but the man could drop some gems every now and then. You'd be like, damn, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then in turn, somebody be like, that nigga said it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is fucked up because you like, man, the man just told you some real shit and you're not processing it, you're not applying it because it came from him. Why?
I always say you can learn a little bit from the devil. And what I mean by that is, hey, even the devil got some things you can learn that might help you, and for the good is what I'm saying. And like I say, we can learn something from the man on the street. We can learn something from the lady behind the cash register. It's just about, are you open enough to catch those lessons, and it doesn't matter from who.
True
You know
that.
what
And
I'm
you got to
saying?
have a listening ear too. You got to
Yeah,
have
you
your ears open.
definitely have to have a listening ear. You have to want to, you know, l- look for the lesson in things. Meek said, chew up the meat and spit out the bone. Can't kill the messenger all the time. Hey, Gartrell,
Um,
how you doing? So yeah, and Gartrell said the devil can teach you a whole lot. Yes, indeed. Like I said,
so
we
you
all
know
have.
the saying.
Uh-huh.
You know the saying. That's why you have one set of lips and two ears.
Right.
Listen more than you can talk.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I soak it up like a sponge, and then I
Mhm.
just marinate. So
I tell you, and I'm just thankful because, like I say, some of y'all I met in some other chats and things like that, and the fact that you're over here listening to me, it's a blessing. Like I said, because of we all been through different things. Good night, Gertrude. We all been through different things on something this YouTube app. Some have, some haven't, but I'm thankful for each and every one of you. And I
let me
never
touch
would,
on that.
yeah,
Let me
I
touch
never
on
would
that.
have thought y'all would be over here, but I'm thankful for that. So I
You know
just,
how I look at that. You know
uh-huh,
how I see it. I don't know anybody personally, so I'm not judging nobody. People talk shit
hmm,
about perfect strangers they ain't never met in real life.
right,
So they have no effect on me. They haven't taken money out of my pocket, food out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? I don't choose a side. I sit up and watch people and see if I could process something and I can apply it, for my own well being.
yeah,
So And when I said earlier that I use YouTube as a therapeutic tool, I mean, you know how people got some built up frustrations and they can't find a way to let it out. So
Mhm.
yeah, I hit a few panels, talk shit, get it off, and I'm
Yep.
cool.
I I know who one of your nemesis is. Is it
I
OG
don't
Nuppy?
trip on dude because the thing is that he's an avatar. I'm an avatar. There's like
Yeah.
maybe 3 or 4 people see me on here. You know what I'm saying? When I put my
Yeah.
face on here. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had to shut my IG down because I got some inappropriate things up in there. I'm like, I'm not here for that. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't need the internet to hook up with nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, you've
I mean,
always
I appreciate it that you're willing to go that route, but that's just not how I get down.
you've always been a gentleman. Like I said, it's
So,
some real gentlemen on this chat. So I thank you for that. And you've always held yourself in a good way to me. Like I said, we just know not to play with you. That's all we know. But you
I'm
are
harmless. I'm
you are
harmless.
yeah, you are a sweetheart. And we've been on here for almost 2 hours, CEO.
Great
And
show.
yes, and I like I said, I was actually kind of not going to do it, but I was like, because usually I go live Thursday, and I still might go live again Thursday too. But I really thought this was just like something that really touched my heart for some apparent reason. Because, like I said, I see so much going on, and then like the other day when the thing happened in Tennessee with those children, those innocent children, and then the substitute and the I think it was a custodian, and I don't know who the other person was. I think they worked in the office or something. I mean, just senseless. How people can just go and kill people. And these are innocent people, and you look at life and you say life is so unfair sometimes, and it just don't make sense. And I thought that this was a good title because, like I said, I met some people where you can tell life broke them down for real. They just look bad. And it's
Sure.
just because sometimes they just don't know how to handle life. They don't know how to deal with it properly. They numb it with other things that are not helpful. Actually, it makes things worse. And I just thought that this was something that I wanted to talk about, that I felt that was meaningful. Like I said, I wish sometimes I want to go back and get in drama and go back and forth with people. But when I think about it, that's meaningless to me at the end of the day. Going back and forth with people that you don't know nothing about, they
True.
don't know nothing about you just from what they
True.
see. And it's just a waste of time, a waste of good, precious time that you could use on something else. So I'm glad that y'all was here, and I'm gonna close it down. But thank you so much. You and everybody else made the panel just worth listening to. So thank you
Salute to
so much.
you. Salute to the chat.
Yes.
Catch you the next time.
All right. I appreciate you so much, CEO. Anytime I see you in the chat, and everybody in the chat, I get excited. And
I'm exclusive to your show. So
and I appreciate it and I accept. So, like I said, y'all have been a blessing to me. It's draining after a while to even watch. Yes, it is. And like I said, that's my buddy CEO, everybody, Mink, my King Me 305, Will T. Y'all been a blessing. Everybody in the chat, y'all been a blessing. Even those that choose to watch with good intention and support. Gartrell, Ben, my buddy, I haven't seen you in a minute. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're in the land of the living. And Gartrell, my Oak Cliff brother, we probably live not too far from each other. And Candy James, my girl, all of you guys are a blessing to me. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody have a blessed night. I'll try to go back live Thursday. So just keep looking looking out for the live. Y'all have a blessed night. Like I said, love you to Reese's Pieces. Good night.